So here's my little F. I've written a bit of a script here to get through because there's a lot of engineering stuff you need to know about this car, because engineering wise it is 100%. Bodywork wise, and I mean just odd panels, not rust. Bodywork wise it's not really 100%, but engineering wise it certainly is. So I bought it 8 years ago from Graham Hathaway. He's the ex-race car driver and now second-hand car salesperson. He's an old family friend. My uncle used to build race engines back in the day. So I was looking for a project, been a mechanical engineer since I left school, 13 years of that on big jets. I'll be 52 at the end of this year. This suited me right down to the ground. 50,000 miles on the clock when I bought it. When I first got it, it drove like a lot of MGFs, like the suspension was made of blancmange, so it got a poly bushing suspension front to back, and as you'll know, you have to drop the front sub out to do that. So that was the first time I had the front sub out. It's been out a few times since then. Yeah, so then I added Magnacore leads. We've got a 54mm throttle body, K&N air filter. Don't know whether it really makes a lot of power difference. Helps the engine breathe a bit more and gives a little bit of an induction roar without being too intrusive. 2015, I set about this front suspension. So I use it as my commuter going backwards and forwards to work in North London. I live in North Essex, and on the motorway it would speedboat, the air hitting the front here, rushing underneath at speed, made the steering very light, not very, didn't make you feel very secure. So, as you may have spotted, I fitted the splitter on the front, which works superbly in shoveling the air rather than underneath the car around the side. So the faster you go, the more front ends push down you've got. The air hitting the front here still goes up and over the car. The air hitting here comes around the side. So that's great. What that also meant I could do, these cars suffer from inside edge wear on the tyres. Now the camber angle is not changeable on these. It's not adjustable. You can adjust the toe angle, but not the camber. Well, you can if you get some offset bushes. So if you look down the side of the car, any MGF enthusiast, aficionado, will see that those front wheels are sitting more upright than they would normally. They normally sit over like that, tend to wear the inside edges of the tyres. So that gives you better handling, but with a splitter on the front, that negates some of that. So what I've been able to do is have a front sub out again, offset bushes in there, tip those wheels either side, means they're up a bit more, and with a splitter it's fantastic. You don't wear the tyres out in the front anywhere near as much as before, and the handling is fantastic. It's really planted on the front. I've adjusted the toe angle as well, and if you ask me, that's the way it should have come out of the factory in the first place. So I did all that. 2017 I started breaking up a couple of MGFs for spare parts and just generally fiddling around. So I've swapped out a couple of the suspension spheres, and I've split the system so you can pump up individually as well. That's all hidden behind there, but you've got 4 valves instead of 2. I changed the driver's seat. Now the driver's seat cover and sponges are, well, the seat sponges and covers are interchangeable. So what I did was I took the sponge and seat cover off of the passenger side one that I was breaking up and put that on here. So all your piping's absolutely lovely, because this was on a seat there, if you follow, and the sponge is lovely and solid, nothing wrong with that seat whatsoever. And I basically went through the car swapping over bits and pieces as and when I needed to. I did, in 2018, have a bit of a ding. Can't tell a lie, had a bit of a ding, hit that end, that corner and that corner against the Armco barrier. So I cut the corner off of one of the cars I was breaking up. I welded, cut this corner off as well, went for the shortest distance down to the wheel arch and just took that corner off. So that's, you will be able to see it when you get here, and if you get the light right even in this video, you'll be able to see the contouring around this area. It's not quite spot on, and there's a little bit of lacquer there, and it has been done with the rattle cans. So I needed a new outer corner welding on, replacement bumper rear light. It needed a wing, bumper and a bonnet. And then the same colour. Fortunately I was all breaking up one of the same colour, but there is a slight colour difference. So I did the headlight as well. Oh, that's the other thing. Out of the two cars I was breaking up and the one I had, you got the best headlights of the bunch there. And they've got night breaker bulbs in there or something like that. Best you can get. Oh, 2019, changed the resistor pack. That's another thing that goes on these. And then we had the dreaded head gasket failure, 2019. So 2020, this was up on blocks on my drive. The rear subframe engine, dropped the whole lot out, skidded it into my garage on skateboards and set about doing the whole engine thing. We had the head off, that was skimmed. I got all the replacement parts for doing the head gasket from Brown & Gammons. Uprated gasket, of course. I even put the uprated oil rail in there. And if you've done a head gasket or you know about these things, the head bolts go all the way through the block and actually do up into the oil rail in the sump. So whilst I had the engine out in my garage over there, I took the time to put the uprated oil rail in there. That stiffens the whole thing up. The bolts hold the head in much tighter. So that's all gone back together. I'm even running it on Evans waterless coolant, the power cool stuff. That means the coolant never boils like your water. The point of that being is the only pressure you'll get in the system now is the air that expands in the tank here will put a little bit of pressure on the system. You won't get that sort of held in, compressed steam pressure building up through the whole system. So that helps as well. Oh, of course, new rad. It's got the stainless steel pipes underneath. There's a whole plethora of stuff being done to this car. I can't even remember. Rear shocks this year. Obviously discs, bearings, all sorts of things. So you've got the brand new nutty bolt thing down there for the rear shocks. I've got a replacement screen. If you're not happy with this screen, it's a little bit milky cloudy. It's a little bit milky cloudy. I actually like it because it's at the night time it stops the headlights from behind shining right through into your mirror. But you might want to change that. I have got a replacement screen which is in very good condition. I've got decap pipe. I have a whole bundle of electrical bits and pieces. Indicator stalks. So let's have another look inside. So inside it's got the fake trim, the fake veneer on here. Some of it's come away up here, and you've also got a nice Pioneer DAB stereo and your, what do you call it, wooden gear knob and gear stick. So there you go. That's about it. Like I say, I'm not hiding anything. It's had replacement bits up the front here, a bit welded on down the back. Seals are solid. Seals are solid both sides. It's got tyre proxies on there, half worn. It gets barn stored during the winter. So for the last 8 years at least, it's been dry in the winter, and even though it's drizzling on me now, it's usually dry in the summer. So that's it. That is my car. Probably a load of other stuff about it where it's been upgraded. I haven't told you. Roof, good condition, blah blah. Alright, give me a call if you're interested.